So just how exactly did these two men manage to escape, and how have they managed to avoid capture for this many days? Joining me now is former federal inmate Larry Levine. He's now the founder of Wall Street Prison Consultants. So, Larry, thank you so much for being with us. This is clearly a very brazen prison escape. You were in prison for 10 years. Figuring out an escape plan, is this something that was often talked about?
Well, every inmate, everybody in custody wants to go home. I mean, that's the goal. Everybody has an out date. But, these guys, they really didn't have an out date. They knew they were never going home, but it's still a dream. You can see inmates that are walking along the fence line, that are timing the guards driving around in the trucks. So, yeah, it is on everybody's mind. How the hell can I get out of here? Police are now looking at this prison worker, Joyce Mitchell. How easy is it to develop a special relationship with a prison worker? Well, you're working with people sometimes for years on end, and the staff becomes complacent, and you get into, friendship kinds of relationships with them. So you're not going to be able to really cure this problem. As long as you have inmates that are male and female, and then you have correctional workers that are male and female, you're going to have flirting and you're going to have relationships.
I want to talk about how exactly these men got their hands on power tools. You were in a maximum security prison, is that correct?
I was in high security, medium, low, minimum. I was at all the custody levels.
So did you notice any weak spots in terms of security when you were in there?
What I noticed is that the staff become complacent. They call them homesteaders. Let's say that you're in an institution for 20 years and you're working. You're too comfortable with your job. You start looking the other way. You're not following all the security protocols like you're supposed to. And that's going to lead to the inmates. They're going to look for vulnerabilities. Let's take a look, though, at the situation in New York. She was a supervisor in a tailor shop where they were making clothing for government agencies. In the federal system I was at, they called that Unicor, where they made bulletproof vests for the Border Patrol. They made mail bags for the post office, diplomatic bags for the State Department. In this institution, she had these two inmates with her for years. Let's just suppose that there was some clothing items that the inmates had brought back to their cell or that were delivered there, and there were power tools inside of those. Nobody would be any wiser. And I wouldn't be surprised because, they had to have a lot of...
It would be that easy?
She's a staff member. They don't suspect their own staff members are involved in activities. There's constantly... They were in what was called the honor unit. And they had more privileges than other inmates throughout the institution, even though they were high security.
And Larry, just quickly, these men, they didn't have anyone waiting for them outside. They apparently escaped on foot. How surprised are you that we haven't seen any sort of, carjackings or any home breakings? Obviously, they need to secure cash and food somehow.
Well, we don't really know. I know that they think they have them up in, northern upstate New York, and they think they've sighted them. But we really don't know if they had a contingency plan. For all we know, the area that the marshals and the police are staging their search in, that could have been other people. That could have been some drug dealers with a duffel bag full of weed that's trying to bring it back and forth across the border. Has anybody actually positively identified that it was them? I don't think so. I think my personal bet is these guys are far, far away.
Larry Levine, thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Glad I could be with you.